she fell asleep in a case manager's cubicle. And then she told me she woke up to hearing, she might be separated from her sister. She might go to a group home. This family couldn't take her, other kids' situations. And it was in that moment that truly it was like a light bulb went off. And I thought, well, I know what we could do. We can do better than that. We could maybe raise some funds and go to our local office, and maybe they'll let us just put in a comfortable place away from all that the kids can have a place prepared for them so they don't have to wait in a conference room or a cubicle.
Welcome to Dream Small, where we believe God does big things through the small and everyday faithfulness of His people. I'm Jason.
And I'm Whitney. We're a family of 8 who's fostered, adopted, and stumbled our way through learning that small, everyday choices can change lives.
In a world that tells you to chase big, we dare you to dream small.
Because you know what? It's not about chasing fame. It's about choosing faithfulness.
Welcome back to another episode. Super exciting episode today. We have Jenni Tice with us from Lily Pad. If you don't know what that is, I didn't either until I got introduced to her, and we're going to learn all about it today. What I have learned so far is incredible. Jenni, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We are so excited that you're here.
And we should share, you are our first contact. We've had some people on that I wouldn't say are friends, but we've had first non-contact person we've had the joy and pleasure of hosting. So thanks for joining us.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right. So before we get rolling and I do your intro, we're going to do what we're grateful for. Whitney, you start.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple conversations today with one of our caseworkers, and the thing that comes to mind is I am very grateful for the lessons that we have learned along the way. They've taught us a lot, even the hardest ones, right? We've learned a lot. So that's
the caseworkers, the lessons the caseworkers have taught us.
No, through my conversation with
all
her,
the
it
lessons.
had me reflecting on it. Yeah.
I'm slow. I got it now.
It's fine.
Jenni,
you can go next. Ladies first.
Oh, I have to tell you, I'm thankful for my neighbors because all my kids are over there right now.
Oh, that's
so
a win.
I'm grateful for them. Yes. Yes. Our neighbors moved in a couple of years after we lived here and become best friends with the wife. And yeah, it's just amazing to live near your best friend. She's lived this foster care life with us. Right.
Oh, wow.
What a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great.
Oh, I love that.
The Lord brought what I needed. I didn't know what I needed. He brought her.
And do they have kids similar to your kids' ages?
They don't. They have really little ones, and ours are ours
Older.
are 16, 13, and 12, and they have a 7-year-old. Is he 7? And a 3. So
your kids are probably helpful to her. So it's probably a win-win. Yeah.
Yes. Except I was sitting out on the porch with my husband, and her husband had walked over, and then all of a sudden we see her come out because all the kids had headed to her house. And we were like,
that's great.
Sorry.
One space for the kids, one space for the adults. I love it.
She's like, what are y'all doing? Yeah. Yeah. Very grateful.
Good. That's awesome. I can't imagine living next door to our best friends who are also foster parents. That would be so cool.
Well, they're not actually foster parents, but she's just lived this life alongside me. She is.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. She's been a counselor. It's okay. She's been a counselor at an elementary school, so worked a lot with our social services. And
that's even better, right?
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes when we had children, oftentimes there was, it was hard for kids to open up to us, and they would open up to her. And it's just wonderful to have her nearby.
That's incredible.
Her husband's good too, but she's my bestie.
But she's the real winner.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for, we have had a really, really nice spring here in central Indiana. Usually it's cold late and then it gets really hot. You don't really have a pleasant spring. We've had a very pleasant spring for about 6 weeks now, where it's been typically upper 70s. Like, I'm helping coach my daughter's middle school softball team before Whitney had surgery. And usually at the beginning of the year, you're in hoodies and stocking hats and coats. And this year it's been at most a hoodie. So really grateful for that we've had a really nice spring.
That is nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the intro. for Jenni. Jenni Tice is the co-founder and executive director of LilyPad, A Soft Place to Land, a South Carolina faith-based nonprofit that creates trauma-informed spaces for children and vulnerable individuals in crisis. Inspired by her Christian faith and deep belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, Jenni and her husband Ben launched LilyPad in 2022 to help reimagine how people receive care during life's hardest moments. As a registered nurse and foster parent who has welcomed more than 40 children into her home, Jenni's lived experience has shaped a mission centered on compassion, safety, and hope. Today, LilyPad has expanded to more than 40 locations across the state in partnership with child welfare agencies and law enforcement.
Wow. That is it. So you're talking 4 years. In
Yeah,
4 years, you've done all
LilyPad.
that.
Yeah,
Wow.
not just me. Oh man, not just me. No.
Sure. Yeah.
So many family, friends, and just stepping forward in faith. Like just,
Oh, I
okay,
love
Lord.
that.
Okay, Lord, if you want us to do this, we're walking forward, hands open,
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
love
you
everything
understand.
about this. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. It just takes that one yes and
Mhm.
things just go, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So let's
yeah. And
start at the
sometimes you don't know what you're
beginning.
saying yes to.
True. So you're an RN. So are you still
Yeah,
working in that field at all right now?
I am not. My
Okay.
full-time role has become LilyPad.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. But I
So
will
how
never
long
let my
did you
license go.
foster? Okay, that's smart. Yeah. So how long did you foster? Or let's start. Gosh, I want to know so much about you.
Let's open it. Just tell us
Yeah,
your
you just
personal
talked.
Foster. Hold on, Whitney.
Oh, I like
I got it,
answering
Whitney. I
questions.
got it.
Okay.
Start with your personal foster journey and how I'm assuming that led you to launch LilyPad.
Yes. So we are actually still licensed. We're still a licensed foster family. We've been licensed for 14 years, going on 14 years. Um, our daughter was 3. She's biological to us. And my husband was in law enforcement, and I worked labor and delivery at the main hospital system downtown. Um, I was caring for a homeless patient one night, and she was having her 3rd child. Her young sister, who was trying to get her college education, had a child of her own, was single, was now raising her sister's children, and this new baby was coming into the world. And it was from that and several other experiences, but that was the catalyst of I went home and talked to my husband, just said, if we were licensed, I feel like we could help more in this situation. We knew nothing of foster care though, and lots of fears from both of us, but from his side, especially of being in law enforcement and possibly having interacted with some of the families
Sure.
of the children
Yeah.
we'd be serving. So we were coming at it with different perspectives, but both very open to caring for the vulnerable. We talked about adoption before we ever got married. But I'll tell you, we learned a lot. We went into it possibly not looking to adopt, but I will be honest and transparent and just say like that we were thinking about maybe for our second child as we added to our family, considering adoption, and then foster care was brought into the mix as well. And then of course we've learned so much over the years, and that's not the goal of foster care. Though we have been blessed with 2 sons through adoption through foster care. Anyway, so that was the catalyst. It was just our experience, and then we actually went to a private adoption lawyer, and we're talking to him about adopting. And we were young; we were in our mid-20s, and we just said, we think adoption is what we're called to do to add to our family this next time, and we don't mind race, age, if you know their medical history, if you don't, we just want to give a child a home that needs one. And he looked right at us and said, have you considered foster care? And turns out that he was attorney for our DSS for a couple of years.
Oh.
So then he was able to answer a lot of questions, a lot of those fears. And we went ahead and got licensed actually for private adoption as well as foster care. So we did both licensing processes at the same time. we took 5 calls for private adoption and never felt called to say yes. And the very first call that
Wow.
we got for foster care, it was an easy yes. The Lord made it very clear. And we had that child for almost a year, and then had a couple short-term respite situations, and then our sons came to our home, and they were only supposed to stay for 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know if what your experience has been.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
2 years later, we were adopting them, and
Did they come
and just the
together?
Lord, they did. They
Okay.
came. So it was going to snow here in South Carolina, which is,
Oh
That's a
boy.
big
a
deal.
huge thing, a big deal. We were actually headed out to take our daughter sledding, and I remember the phone call coming in, and the case manager at the time saying, "There's a 5-month-old or an 18-month-old. Will you take one or the other?" And I said, "Well, why one or the other?" And they said, "Well, you're only licensed for one child. They are biological brothers. Because of the snow today, things were rushed in court. They're going to get it situated. They'll go back to a family member in 4 to 6 weeks." I looked at my husband and said, "We can do anything for 4 to 6 weeks." Well, 2 years
Yep.
later,
About
we
that.
were adopting
Famous
them.
last words.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Our
yeah.
first daughter we adopted through foster care came to us that she just needed a little TLC over the weekend.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And she was
Yeah.
3 months old, and we already had a 3-month-old, and we were like, "It's just a weekend. It's fine."
No, we can do anything. We can
Right.
do
Yep.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's good. I'm glad to hear it's consistent across all the states, not just
Right.
Indiana. Good.
Really is. Really is. Yeah. So so you asked me how that led to Lily Pad. We had been fostering for a decade then.
Wow.
We made the choice after our sons that we were still called to foster, and maybe not adopt if that came to be, but be a bridge to reunification, Lord willing, or if they need to go to an adoptive family. I don't think that's the norm. I think maybe more families after they adopt stop fostering, or at least in my experience, that's what it's been. We were just following what the Lord called us to do. So after a decade of fostering, we were actually looking to close our home, but still felt called to serve in some way. I think you both probably understand, like once you are living in it, it's
Yeah.
hard to turn away.
You can't just walk away and close that door. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
We know too much, and so we were just looking for like what the next thing was. And we knew in our state and in many states that the older children were spending a lot of time in the offices. And we had never fostered older children. We had not even raised a teen yet. So that was definitely a nerve-wracking decision, but we'd always taken the younger infants a lot that needed to go through withdrawals, medicines, and stuff, just with my labor and delivery background. We were going through a difficult foster care story at the time, even after 10 years and feeling like we knew a lot of what could happen. We were still experiencing a situation that we just was blowing our minds on how this was all coming to be. And it was with a little girl that had been placed in our home before COVID. Nobody knew COVID was coming, obviously, but her story was adoption, actually, when she was placed in our home, which is unusual because she was abandoned at the hospital. And like I said, we actually told DSS we're a bridge. I was actually shocked they couldn't find a family that would take in a baby girl, especially that was supposed to be an adoption. And then COVID hit, and we were all locked down in our homes, and she'd been with us for 6 months. And I looked at my husband and said, "Could you hand her to another family?" And he couldn't even get the words out. And I was like, "Okay, Lord, I think we're meant to have 4 kids." And then her case due to COVID and everything kept getting continued and continued and continued. And when we finally got in for a merits hearing after going to court for 7 different times, being told she would be a TPR and adoption case, they switched her case to reunification.
Wow.
And knowing what we knew about foster care, like our hearts were so conflicted. Like there was just
Sure.
I'm sure you understand there's the desire for a family to be made whole, but also we had let the guard down,
Sure.
Yeah,
so to
I get
say.
that. Yeah.
Um, and after raising her for 2 years, she was reunified in
Wow.
a situation
Man.
that was difficult. So we were coming up on, seeing that she was going to be reunified. She was doing weekends back and forth with family, and I just didn't want to look at an empty room. And we called our Department of Social Services and said, if you have older kids that you feel like would be safe to come to our home, um, we would be happy to have them on the weekends that she's gone, just so they don't have to stay overnight in an office.
Oh, wow.
And of course, the very first weekend they had a child
Oh, yeah.
force, and
Yeah.
her name was Ashlyn. And when she came to us, we learned, mind you, she was supposed to stay just for a weekend. We learned that she had been in care since the age of 3, adopted at age 10 with her sister, and then had survived abuse in her adoptive home. And that's what was bringing
Oh,
her back into care. And
holy
in no
cow.
way, that was our first teenage foster care experience.
Wow.
Um, and in no way, shape, or form did we think that we were her saviors by any means, but our family and our church family all said, if you want her to stay in your home, like, we'll help you. Um, and so we did. And she had always been placed with her sister. And I hesitate to say fortunate to be placed with her sister, because there's nothing fortunate about their situation. But
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ashlyn was the oldest of 4 siblings, and the 2 brothers had been adopted in different families, and the girls had been adopted together. So her sister Lauren came to stay with us. And so we had our 3 kids plus our other little one doing transitional visits back and forth, and the girls. And I laid my head on my pillow. This was December of 21, and I just thought, Lord, what have we done? Because we're getting ready to face a very deep sorrow, sadness with our little one leaving, and then these 2 girls are going to need to be adopted. Um, and a couple weeks later, well, I'll say this first. Ashlyn shared with us her experience in the offices. The babies can't tell us that we were taken care of, but Ashlyn
Mm.
could. And she'd lived a lifetime in DSS offices. She'd said goodbye to her brothers in a conference room.
Oh.
When she came to our home, she had reported her abuse at school, been questioned by the police, been taken to our home to get her belongings, then brought to a DSS office. And though she was placed in our home that evening, she was in the office for hours. And after all that, um, trauma upon trauma, she fell asleep in a case manager's cubicle. And then she told me she woke up to hearing, she might be separated from her sister. She might go to a group home. This family couldn't take her, other kids' situations. And it was in that moment that truly it was like a light bulb went off. And I thought, well, I know what we could do. We can do better than that. We could maybe raise some funds and go to our local office, and maybe they'll let us just put in a comfortable place away from all that the kids can have a place prepared for them so they don't have to wait in a conference room or a cubicle. Did not know what the Lord had planned at that point, but that was like a light bulb moment. And
So he
I will share
really
with you
used
this.
Ashlyn's story to plant that
Oh,
seed. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. And then
Wow.
in the midst of what was one of the hardest times of our life, though, we had been foster parents for so long, and we know how things can change, and nothing is a guarantee. It was still one of the hardest times of our lives and our story with raising this little one for 2 years, and her leaving. The Lord brought these girls into our story, and a couple weeks after they moved in with us, my older sister, who had never been married, never had children, always worked in the public school system in the high schools, approached us and said, do you think they'd let me adopt the girls? And I was like, I think they will jump up and down for you to adopt the girls.
Yeah.
And she had a sweet interaction with Ashlyn the very first weekend Ashlyn came, because Ashlyn came and had a quinceanera that she was supposed to go to for a friend, and had been so excited about it. And we weren't able to take her, but my sister stepped in and was able to take her. And so they had this special bonding moment. And anyways, A year after the girls
Wow.
came to our home, my sister adopted them, so they became our
Aw.
nieces. hmm So Ashlyn's story, though, is what led to LilyPad, wanting these kids
Wow.
to have a comfortable place prepared for them, away from all the chaos of the DSS office. Yeah. So
Has
it's a
she?
very long story.
That is
I
an
could get into lots of
incredible
details.
story.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Has
Mhm.
Ashlyn ever articulated to you what lily pad means to her? Like watching it evolve?
Yes. Yes. And this makes me very emotional because she
I'm sorry.
should no, it's okay. She should hate the world and everyone in it, right? Like
Yeah.
she has been disappointed, it's not even the right word, but just destroyed by adults.
Yeah.
And she made a profession of faith at a church camp uh, a year after her
Ugh.
adoption.
Wow.
And how do you build trust with a child that has gone through all of that with adults? Um,
Right.
and LilyPad has been a way to do that. We heard her
Mm.
tell us what she experienced, and we wanted to make it different for kids coming after her. And when we first started, I did tell her, she calls me auntie. I never thought I'd be an auntie, but
Aw.
I said, Ashlyn, sweetie, we don't have to use your story. This is your story. It's your experience. We don't have to share about it for LilyPad to exist or move forward and serve more kids. And she said, no, auntie, I want girls to know they can tell somebody and somebody will
Mm.
listen. And she's the most amazing person. I
What
hope you get
what
to
a
meet her someday.
what a brave young
She's
lady. Holy cow.
And
I'm
as we
getting
move
She's
into
gonna.
law enforcement, yeah, I just had a conversation with her the other day because law enforcement's new. I don't know if they told you that for this, but law enforcement's new for LilyPad, and so we're doing a lot of victim care and
Wow.
putting
Oh.
in soft rooms for like victims of sexual assault, and that's Ashlyn's story. And I asked her, I said,
Wow.
this is something different than just growing up in foster care. This is another part of your story. You don't have to share it. And she said, no, I want to share it all. I want to share it
Mm.
all. I want people to know that people will listen. And
Her
I want to make a
testimony
difference.
is
Yeah.
going
Oh,
to create ripples of change. Oh my
mm-hmm,
goodness. Wow.
mm-hmm,
What a
mm-hmm.
brave girl.
I mean,
Wow.
She's amazing.
I'm getting teary-eyed listening to this story. I don't know how you don't get emotional
She's
listening to that.
she is amazing. She's taught us all just so much. So we thought we were meant to adopt a fourth child, have a second daughter. We thought we knew what God had for us, right? And no, I mean, God had written a different story. And I look at my nieces, and they know they knew the little one that we said goodbye to, and they know how hard that was. They walked through that with us because they moved in before she
Mm.
Yeah.
left. But I have looked at them in the eyes and said, I would do it all over again to have you here, and I would.
Wow.
Um, that doesn't mean I don't love the little one we had to say goodbye to.
Of course.
Sure.
Just two things
Yeah.
can be true. Mhm.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
1000%.
so yes, I'm gonna
What
brag on
a
her, Ashlyn.
story.
She just finished her freshman year of college, so she's gonna
No
Oh.
be one of the
way.
less than 1% of former foster youth that go on to get a 4-year degree. That's
Good
her.
for
That's
Is
her
it
her.
goal.
that low? I
Mhm.
knew it would be low. I did not imagine it'd be that low.
That
Wow.
low. So when she moved in, oh, she's taught us so much. So when she moved in, and her sister too, they just have different stories and different experiences. And but Ashlyn, when she moved in, because of all the moves she's had, she was behind in school. And
Sure.
not
Mm.
because she's not smart. She's so intelligent. She'd just been moved so many times.
Yeah.
And um, she actually completed high school in 3 years and caught up with her age group, and then
Wow.
went on to college. So yeah,
Well,
she's
whenever
Good for
amazing.
she
her.
does what she does as an adult, I'm gonna be glad to say I know of her and like I'd heard
Yes.
about her before she does all the things
Yeah.
she's gonna do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing her with us so we can be
Yeah.
like,
She's
oh,
amazing.
I know of her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell her to come talk to you guys sometime.
I know, right?
We would love to talk to her. Like one of the things
She's
we've
amazing.
done we've had a couple, one so far, former foster youth on, because we love hearing their stories. And they share a perspective we can't share. So
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you answered my next question. Since developing LilyPad and implementing it, how have you seen those environments really transform those first few hours for a kiddo? Instead of sitting in a cubicle or a desk or conference room, how have those spaces changed their entrance into foster care?
I, for a while, didn't know, other than, Ashlyn saying how much of a difference it would have made. But then we were still fostering when we were putting lily pads in, and we had a teenager come stay with us who, because I worked 12-hour shifts at the time at the hospital, and my husband as well, we had said yes to an emergency placement and told our placement team, like, we both have to work 12-hour shift tomorrow. It was an emergency placement. I don't know what it's like where you are, but they would still bring him just to stay the night. And they took her to the lily pad the next day while we were at work. And she stayed there, and then she came back to our house that night. Did I ever think they'd be using that way? No. But I was just so thankful it was there for her. And then I was speaking at a school in town and talking to some of the kids, and a young girl approached me and she said, I've been in foster care almost all my life, and I knew what it was like before the lily pads were there. And I just want to thank you. Now, I'm not looking for the thanks at all. But that was a moment where I thanked the Lord for that, because I needed to hear, I think, that they were making a difference.
Yeah.
And so I try to explain it to people as, think about us going to the DMV. We don't want to be there for 10 minutes, let alone hours.
Yes.
And these kids, having just all of them experiencing some sort of trauma, being removed from their biological family. I learned from my husband, who did emergency protective custody situations, that they often don't know that anything's wrong or that their family is different.
They
than
think
other
everyone's
kids at school.
family's like that. Yeah.
Yes. And so I naively thought, they'd be happy to see him. He's like, no, I am the enemy that's taking them away from their biological families. And so we just knew it's silly because it's our tagline, but a soft place to land, like just a comfortable place for them to be. And, Ashlyn told us how important it was just to be away from the conversations of the office.
Yeah.
And there's great people working as case managers, working hard to find these kids placement.
But they don't need to hear all of that, right?
No. So
before you continue, I kind of neglected to ask you this because I read about it, so I know what it is. Describe what a lily pad is.
Oh, yeah.
For everybody listening. Yeah, describe what that is.
Okay. So we go into the Department of Social Services offices here, and in our state, every county has one. And we take a conference room or an office space and completely transform it into what looks like a living room space. Some of them have board and batten. We will take out the dirty carpet and lay down, nice floors, a comfortable couch, a rocking chair. We talked to an occupational therapist who had worked with lots of our kids. She said children with special needs and those who've experienced trauma, if they could just rock like us on a hammock or a porch swing, they will retain difficult information better. So every lily pad gets a rocking chair, fidget toys, weighted blankets, a TV, a Nintendo Switch. And say what you want about screen time, but when you have to be stuck in a building, like, you got to do what you got to do.
Yes.
And the teenage boys, they love the Switch. I always tell the case managers,
have you heard of what's our little cube called, Whitney? We just bought
the next playground.
Next.
NEX.
I haven't.
Well, I will
They're
send it to you.
They're kind of like the new thing. Yeah.
So
They're
it's
really
just a
cool.
little cube that sits on a table or in front of the TV. You don't have a remote. There's a camera on you, and you can play different games. Like you can play Connect Four, you can play racing games, you can play
Bowling,
basketball,
that sounds
bowling.
really cool.
It's pretty neat.
So they get up and they're moving.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
and
for sure
even
have to
our
look into that.
3-year-old with autism loves it. Like there's mirror games where it just makes them look funny, right? So yeah, there's so many different things. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Please do send me the link.
It's
Of course,
pretty
I
neat.
might go ask my boys, and they'll probably know what it is.
Probably,
Surprised
yeah.
they haven't asked for one. Yeah, so LilyPad became a place right within the DSS offices that could be prepared for these kids, so that whatever amount of time they're there, they have a place prepared for them with tools to just alleviate any added trauma to what is already a traumatic situation.
Have you heard of Isaiah 117?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We have 2 now in South Carolina.
Good.
Yes. York County, and they just opened one in Greenville County. They just did the ribbon cutting.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yes.
We have we have 2 locally, and when I was reading about what you guys what you had developed, I was like, oh, that sounds kind of like 117. Okay.
I did not know about them until after we had started LilyPad, and then a group that was working to get one here in Greenville reached out to us. And I just think it's amazing. It's
wonderful.
I've spoken to the woman that was working to bring the one to Greenville, and we'll be the first state that has a LilyPad in every county, and then now has some Isaiah 117 houses.
You're in every county in South Carolina?
Next year we will be.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So
well done.
Wow. We partner with local churches or foster parent associations to maintain them. So we don't just put the room in. We have a commitment to maintain them.
Beautiful.
It was very important to me that, the kids have a clean floor. Everyone finds them in good shape, down to the DVDs. Like if a child comes in and they've had a fit and finally settled and they want to watch a DVD, I want that DVD to be in the case so that they don't open it up and it's not there and then throw a fit and make it harder for the case managers. So we partner with local churches, and they help us maintain our LilyPads to keep them all up and running, because we can't be all over the state.
That would be a lot.
So, yeah.
That would be a lot.
When you guys were developing the LilyPad concept, obviously now in practice it's proven itself, but initially did you get any pushback from you're not saying DCS, are you saying DSS?
Oh yeah, sorry, ours is Department of Social Services.
Social Services. We're Child Services.
Yours? Okay.
DCS.
Yeah.
Did you get any pushback from them when you were initially trying to launch LilyPads?
No. So the Lord, we had been foster parents for a decade there, so they knew us. So I reached out to my friend who was an interior designer, also a foster parent, and just said, hey, from Ashland's experience, I think this might be something that they'd let us do. Let's see if we could raise some funds and, go put this room in Greenville County, which is the county we live in. Honestly, looking back, I didn't even think of room. I mean, I was just thinking a couch and a TV away from everything.
Just fix something.
And then it developed into what it developed into. So no, they've been great. I'm sure there was some, like, you want to do what? But,
right.
We have a DSS office in each county, and then we have 6 regional, what they call adoption offices. I think they just changed the name. But so we have one of those in our county, in Greenville County. So we have a Department of Social Services and what they call an adoption office. So we have the upstate one. So they handle all the children that are legally free for adoption in all the upstate counties. Is that making sense? So we went to that office and spoke to the director there, Catherine Harmon, explained what we were wanting to do. And she was very invested in it. And it just took that one of, Jenny, come in and do this. And then once we did that and went to then Greenville DSS and did that, then we had counties calling us like, are you going to come do this for us? And I'm after everything we went through. Not always trusting the decision making, right, of our department. This I've just been so thankful for the people that God has put in leadership over our state child welfare, and had the opportunity now to get to know those at the state level, not just those at our county level. And they are very invested in, I mean, the state director at the time, he's no longer our state director in South Carolina, but he just looked at my husband and I and he said, we should have been doing this already. Why wouldn't we help you? So yeah, so they were the catalyst for, we'd like this in every state office. They couldn't, we are not a line item on their budget. We are still a independent, faith-based nonprofit that's funded through individuals and churches and foundations, but they granted us some funds to help move it throughout the state. And they've told us they would champion us to other states. And the director, Michael Leach is his name, when we first started, he said, this is what we should have been doing. This is the way these children and families should be treated.
It's dignity, right?
Yeah.
So
what's your, hold on, let me ask one question. Mine will be a quick answer.
I know I have like 10 questions.
I have so many questions.
I'm not always good at answering quick.
You're answering the questions great. Yeah, no.
Okay.
You're the fun type of person to interview where I can ask one question and you talk like for those are when you talk to people, you want responsive questions. What state is next?
Oh boy. We did get our fundraising certificate for another state, but we haven't.
Can't share yet. Fair enough.
That's exciting.
It's close to you.
That's very exciting.
Hope it's not Michigan, because I mean, I'm just teasing. Anywhere it can go is a good thing. That's awesome. That's so good. I mean, if Indiana pops on your radar, I hope you contact us so we can help. We know some people that can. That's
what we need. So in the first year, we had 20 other states reach out and ask us to come do this for them.
Wow.
New York even. And I called New York and said, do you know that we're a faith-based nonprofit?
That sucks. Said, that would be a reason why people wouldn't do it. But yeah, it's a thing.
I mean, I had to ask, and they said,
I love that you asked, that you were bold enough to ask, because I would have too. That's awesome.
Yeah. And they said, we just need all the help that we can get. And they taught me something. They, at the time, I don't know if this is still the case, because this is 4 years ago, they had a built-in at least 24-hour waiting period because their children had to get a medical examination before they could go to a foster home.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So those offices always
I had never
children.
Heard that.
I mean, that kind of makes sense based on some of our history, why you would do that. But it's also like, man, that really stinks for the kids.
It's awful.
Yeah.
That's just so much extra trauma. Wow.
So when we do start moving to other states, Lord willing, we will need those that are invested already in that state, understand that system, because they're all a little different. And this has to be a community of God's people doing this together.
100%. Yeah, we know we don't really have any insiders. We are not insiders to the government, but we know some people that are pretty closely connected to the new director, and so whenever
you served faithfully alongside them.
Yeah.
All
right, Whitney, your turn to ask questions.
Okay, I have more of the logistic questions. So one thing hold
on. You have
I know, right?
Questions?
I do. I'm surprised you didn't.
I have more, but I wanted to give you a chance.
I've been to a lot of DCS offices. I used to work for DCS in Pennsylvania before we moved out here.
Wow.
I know a lot of offices are tight on space. So has that been an issue, just them having a space available to give to LilyPad for this purpose?
Absolutely. That's always, not always, but that is a challenge. And I will walk through the spaces with the directors and the case managers and get a sense for how they're using the spaces. And a lot of times just through discussion and trying to figure out how we can set them up with like a system that works well.
Right.
And we're able to find something. But if you look at our website, all of them are similar but different. They all have the same
Mm-hmm.
contents.
Yeah.
And you can see that our designer will reuse some designs just for, sake of
Mm-hmm.
cost and, efficiency.
Scalability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when she has the time for the fun of it, keep it exciting, put new designs in.
Yeah.
But you'll see we've done very small rooms to very large rooms. It just depends
Mm-hmm.
on the county. We try to look at how many kids they serve. So some of the offices do now have 2 lily pads.
Mm.
Um, we've started to, a lot of times, because it will be visitation rooms that become a lily pad sometimes.
That I
And
was going to ask that also. Yeah.
we're very adamant about, we want the lily pad to be available anytime a child or children need it.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be like a visitation
Right.
room that you're
Yeah.
moving kids out of and then they can go back and out and back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we're getting ready to do one in Georgetown that is going to be a conference room / lily pad.
Yeah.
But then we'll find another place in the office where we'll create like a soft area, a little seating area with a TV or the gaming system or whatever. So if they do have to be moved out for a visit, there's still a soft
Yeah.
area for them to be. Yeah, we have to get creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
on average, what type of cost are you looking at for one lily pad?
So I've been asking my team, I'm like, we need to get a square foot cost.
Oh,
um,
that would help. Yeah.
It really would, because we don't use contractors. Like my husband and I have been at every lily pad installation, and our children, if we can take them. That's my
So
favorite
you are
part.
the ones that actually do it?
hmm And
Wow.
so we don't use contractors. Our designer, like I said, was my friend who's, I call her our in-house designer.
Yeah.
And so it's about, we've had them 8,000 to 18,000.
Okay.
Richland County that sees 600 kids in care. And we have our juvenile justice system is there, like our, why is the name escaping me? Jail for juveniles. And
Mm-hmm.
so when they come out of there, then they are going to our Department of Social Services there in Richland County. And there's just those offices are just,
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
difficult. It's the
Yeah.
capitals there. And so we actually reinforced the walls
Oh,
there.
wow.
Because
Yeah.
I'm sure when
Mm-hmm.
kids have experienced trauma, and there's no judgment, but they've kicked walls or punched
Oh,
walls
yeah.
or what
Oh,
have
yeah.
you. And so we were trying to set those working
Yeah.
in that offices and the children that they would serve up for success. And so I looked up how they reinforce walls and bars. It's like,
Wow.
so the cost of the wood to reinforce the walls, but if you look at it, if you pull it up on our website, it looks like board and batten. You can't tell
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that it's reinforced.
Wow.
So that was more expensive. We use washable rugs from Ruggable. Might be one of our most expensive pieces, but we had a child come stay with us, an 18-year-old boy, and friends donated a king size bed for him. He was a big boy, 6'4", 230 pounds.
Mm.
And the very first morning, I found him on the floor. I was like, buddy, what are you doing? He's like, I've never had a bed, Miss Jen. It was so comfortable sleeping on the floor.
Oh,
And from that moment on, I said, we have to have clean floors and clean rugs. And so, yeah,
Wow.
we say about 15,000 would be the average, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
have.
as we move into law enforcement, and the same thing,
sure.
there's the space issue.
Yeah.
And so you can walk into one office and they can offer you a conference room to do a lily pad in. And then the one that we just completed was a 7x12 interview room. Well, that's going to be significantly different cost than.
And are
me
you
doing a whole
still
conference room.
aiming the lily pads in police stations towards children, like towards juveniles and youth?
So they're a mix of both. So I'll use the one we just did, for example. We're cutting the ribbon on Tuesday. The sergeant called me, and she's the sergeant over the special victims unit, and she said I had to take a victim of sexual assault into our interrogation room, and I never want to do that again.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, we've been watching your website for a while. My captain gave me the go ahead to call you. Would you ever consider doing this in law enforcement offices? And I said to her in that moment, I said, I don't know if you're a believer, but you're an answer to our prayers, because we're almost through all of our DSS offices here in South Carolina. We just, with my husband's background in law enforcement, we knew that they could be helpful there. And our hearts are with the families and children of South Carolina. And this is an opportunity to continue serving the children and families of South Carolina.
Wow.
Not that we won't move into other states, but
Yeah.
So they are dual purpose. But I think that you can see too, when you see our rooms, it's such a visual thing. We consider the fact that they're in an office and they still need to look professional. The design is important to us. The colors we use are important.
They look
layout,
beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. And so this space in the law enforcement office, they wanted it to obviously be available for interviews for victims. But then they shared with us, sometimes we have women come in with their children and we don't know what to do with them. Like, we're walking around the office trying to find them a coloring book. And I was thinking, my husband and I were thinking, well, how do you manage that if they're all in the same room? So we are getting Bluetooth headphones for the TVs so that the kids can be playing a game or watching a movie and then not hearing the conversation happening. This office actually has a lily pad in their local DSS, and it's less than a mile away. And they would, when they had kids come into care in their office, sometimes go use the lily pad at the DSS office until a transition was made from law enforcement to Department of Social Services. So they were familiar with it. So, she was very easy to work with, the sergeant there. She just said, do your thing. We just thought about, from our experience, I thought, okay, I would think a victim would come in and with a support person maybe, so a love seat rather than a single chair. Law enforcement, no matter what, though they're handling victims, and it's not an interrogation, law enforcement always wants to be closer to the door. So we thought about that with our layout of the officers will want to be closer to the door. And then we have all of our toys, weighted blankets in there, but they can be hidden away to make it look more of an adult space. We have our scripture on the walls and our books. I had a lot of fun choosing the books for the law enforcement offices, looking up board books with police cars and stuff like that, like just trying to change that over.
So you said your scripture. Do you guys have the same scripture in every office, or do you have different pieces you throw up?
Different pieces.
Okay.
Different pieces, yeah. And I don't know how this will sound. I think I can say this, but I told our designer, I said, I want our scripture there, but I don't want it like in your face.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. So, she found these beautiful prints that just soft pictures with the scripture there. And
nice.
Yeah.
You kind of want it so that, like, when you walk in there, you're like, oh, this place is so lovely. Then you find the scripture and you go, oh, that makes sense why this place is so not. Yeah, not the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
So I meant to ask it like 20 minutes ago, but you just kept giving so much good information. I don't think you're going to be able to have an answer because I don't know how you'd add it. Do you have any idea how many kids have been served in your lily pad spaces?
No.
I have to say, I didn't think so, but I had to ask.
We put a number on our website, which is like 27,000, and that's based off of the counties where we have lily pads and how many kids are in care.
Sure.
Because it's not just their entry day. They're in the offices for all kinds of reasons. I went in one time, I was cleaning a lily pad, and there was a young lady in there, and she had been waiting for hours just for the case manager to go get her siblings from other counties for a family visit. And, she was so excited about the Nintendo Switch. And
Aw.
It's way better than sitting in a car for all that time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've actually had our case managers ask for iPads or like Kindles. What are they? Kindle Fires or something. Because they're transporting the kids for so long, they could take them in the car with them. I'd love to get to that point. Add that to our list of things we want to do. But,
Sure.
How many?
No, I have no idea.
How many people does it typically take to support a single lily pad? Like how many people for a good team, solid team, do you, on average, does it take?
Our best supported lily pads are those that have a church that has
A specific church. Okay.
And it's a team. We have a lot of volunteers who are retirees.
Yep.
And I've loved meeting all of our volunteers and hearing their stories. But for various reasons, they might move closer to kids or have a surgery or something. And it's the churches, when they have a small group that's become invested in what we're doing, or a women's group or whatever, if there's somebody who is faithfully serving in that way who has to step away for a minute, the church will bring somebody else right in. But we've had some of our counties, big and small, cared for by a couple who just faithfully goes over there. We try to build relationships with our maintenance partners, is what we call them, and the department. We have what we call a lily pad champion in each office, which is someone who works for the department, who just takes ownership of the lily pad and communicates with our maintenance partner about needs. So though Richland County serves 600 and McCormick County serves 2, McCormick County might get several cases that open up at one time at a random time of the year. And we want our teams to communicate with each other. And we might say Richland County needs seen 3 times a week. Well, if they're getting kids in there every day, then we want our teams to know, like, hey, our maintenance partners to understand, and our DSS partners to understand, please call and let us know that you've had a child there and you need the linens washed or whatever it might be. So, really trying to build those bridges and those relationships between that local community and that office.
It sounds like I can only imagine how much has evolved over the last 4 years since it started. Like, thinking of those things, right? Like, okay, well, we're doing this. Well, now we need a champion over it. We need people to kind of adopt this room to help keep it up, because one person can't sustain that, meaning like you can't sustain it, right? So that's just incredible.
Yeah, and we did hire our first 2 full-time employees last year, and we needed them.
It sounds like it.
Because if anything was going to keep me awake at night, it was whether the rooms were being taken care of. And so we have a operations director, Kendra, who is amazing and just came right in and built out. We had a system in place, and she took it and just, tied it up in a pretty bow. And we've got QR codes in all of our rooms. So, and a nice little sign that just says, like, this is volunteers and donors have put this room together. If you find something's broken, dirty, needs replaced, whatever, scan this code, and they can scan it and send a message to us right away. So it could be if the room's being used for a family visit, if there's a child in there that wants to tell us something, if it's a case manager, anybody can get a hold of us that way. And then our maintenance partners also, every time they go do a visit, they send us a visit log.
Wow.
So yeah, she's the best.
That's incredible.
So, yeah.
Well, I think we should go to South Carolina and see one. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah. Come on. Or soon in the state near you.
Isn't Greenville, South Carolina, where we talked about moving like a year or 2 ago?
That's what I told her right before you hopped on that we had.
Yeah. I was like, wait, this sounds really familiar.
Have you built your guys' playbook so as you expand, you can scale easier and you don't have to have your fingerprints on every single room? Have you built that playbook that you can hand it off?
Yeah, the Lord has brought so many wise people around us. My background's in nursing and my husband is in law enforcement. They didn't teach me business in nursing school.
Sure.
Right.
And I am not in a place to go back to school.
Yeah.
It's my
You
relationship with
sound
the
busy.
Lord.
You sound busy.
Yeah, it's my relationship with the Lord, my husband, and my children, and then the lily pad. And if it displaces any of those, we have to readjust.
Good
Mm-hmm.
for
And
you. So encouraged when I
so,
hear other people in similar spots as us in life that make that
yeah,
priority. That's awesome.
yeah. We're called to serve, but we're not called to serve at a disservice to the children that God's placed forever in our home. And
Amen.
yeah, so um, I lost track of what your question was, but
I
anyways,
feel like
yeah.
you
Oh,
just, yeah.
a playbook. We have,
Yeah.
yes. If we have, like, if you all said we are so invested in doing this in Indiana, it would become top of our list to go there because we have to have those who I could say, well, I want to go to Georgia because it's close. But if I'm having to find somebody who wants to do it there, um, it's different. If you already
Right.
have the people who are invested and ready to do it, we have the playbook. It, the Lord, I do believe would bring the finances and the people
Oh yeah.
along with
Mm,
it. hmm
yes.
hmm So,
That's amazing. I am
yeah.
so amazed by you. And the fact that, like you said, like you're
Oh,
not
it's
a
not me.
business background. Well, it's that, yes, right? It's the
Yeah.
Lord's calling that He put on your heart and made it very obvious through these girls that you said yes
Yeah.
to,
hmm
and how this beautiful story unfolded. Beauty from
hmm
ashes. That's what it reminds me of. And what a testimony for Ashlyn, for you guys. Oh my goodness.
hmm
I'm just blown away, truly.
I mean,
So
I'm
thank you for
impressed.
doing this.
I'm impressed with
Oh,
you. Clearly didn't have this 40. Maybe you did when you started in every single county in multiple states. You just said yes to
no.
one room and you were
Yeah.
obedient and acted. And this is
Yes.
just what, like we talk about, dream small, one thing at a time. And
Yeah.
that's
Right.
exactly what you guys done.
Yeah.
And looked what this turned into.
Yeah. My family laughs because they're like, it's kind of like when you said it would just be 4 to 6 weeks or just a weekend. And you said it would just be
Right.
a room or two. And now it's the whole state
That's
and other states.
That's
But
fantastic.
God's going to
it's
do what God's going to do.
he is. He
Yes.
is. I hope I've learned that by now.
Right.
Yeah, I know what I was starting to say. The Lord's brought some amazing people to our board of directors
Mm,
and just business minded people, finance, who have really taught us and helped set LilyPad up for. It was very important to me that though we had those other states reaching out, that we set this up for this ministry to be successful long term, to serve these kids here long term and not just seek to grow it so quickly that it fell apart. Does that make
mm.
sense?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you
You were
can't be.
wise.
So, and I'm thankful for every person that the Lord's put in our path who's just heard about this need and wanted to come alongside us. It's amazing to see how somebody who's a techie computer person can help us build a
Mm.
system management program to keep track of everything. And one of my favorite, this has nothing to do with business or finances, but a woman that I graduated high school with, her son, she had adopted both her children. And it was one of my first experiences with adoption. Um, she reached out to me. I had not spoken to her in 20 years, but Facebook, she saw what we were doing with LilyPad. She's probably in her 70s now, and she just said, I want to help. I don't have a lot of finances, and I'm not very healthy. And they live in Texas.
Mm.
But she knits, and she knits these beautiful blankets. And she said, I would like to knit blankets in whatever color you want them. I see that you use blankets in each of your room, and I'll just send them as I have them done to your house. And I'll get a
Wow.
package of blankets on my porch every now and then
Mm.
from, well, more often than I anticipated, so that we literally have one handmade blanket put into every lily pad by this
Oh, that is
Wow.
so
um,
awesome.
What a
adoptive mother
beautiful
who
gift.
taught me about adoption. So it's just amazing that how
Mm.
the Lord just weaves people into your life in different ways that people can serve. It's not about
Right.
coming and being our maintenance partner or even giving a large financial gift. People give in so many ways, and it's been
Yes.
really cool to see how everyone can
Yes.
serve.
And when people use their gifts that they have to serve, it's beautiful. Yeah.
All right. We could talk to you all night, Jenni, but I want to honor our time a little bit. Share with everybody, and I'll put this in the show notes, where they can find more information on LilyPad. They listen and like, you know what? I want to do that where I live. Share that contact information, your website, all the things. Share all the things.
Okay. Our website is LilyPad Inc. So LILYPADINC.org. And there's a newsletter you can sign up for, as well as a contact page where that will come directly to our team. I see them all. I love to read where different people are coming from and why they're reaching out. And we're pretty active on Instagram. I'm not a TikTok person.
I understand.
Facebook. We're the Facebook generation.
Right?
Yes, we are.
So they can find us there too. So
we're that old. We're the Facebook generation.
We are.
We are. My kids said I'm old because I post on Instagram. I'm like, if you only knew.
Old on Instagram. Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
Our oldest is 12, and then we have a 10-year-old. They're biological. And we have a 7-year-old we adopted, a almost 4-year-old we've adopted, a 2-year-old we've adopted, and then we have her 9-month-old brother who we're fostering.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 9 months to 12 years.
You're busy.
Yeah, and just a side note, Whitney had hip surgery 2 weeks ago, so I've been fighting the battles solo. Well, for a week. Then her mom came here. Our Grammy came here.
Whitney, am I supposed to feel sorry for him?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, you are.
If it makes him feel better, sure.
Oh, you moms are so
He's been
mean.
awesome. He's been awesome.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
I have a great husband too. This is I always feel bad like doing interviews and stuff without him. I mean, this would not. I was gone at a LilyPad all day. He went to the store, had all the kids picked up, had dinner made.
It's a team sport, man. You got to have a good partner. Yeah,
you have to.
All right. Well, I could talk to you forever. Thank you, Jenni. Thank you so much for meeting with us. Your story is going to resonate, and I hope I'm going to make sure the people I think can help us in Indiana, because I think that is an incredible thing to have. So
the next step is our Department of Social Services is willing for us to train volunteers from the churches that have partnered with us to come in and interact with the children. So make sure they have meals, make sure they get cleaned up, get clothes.
It's so much like Isaiah 117, just how
it is unreal.
Yeah. It's beautiful, and there's such
awesome.
a need. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you can't have enough soft spaces for kids going into foster care for visits or whatever. Right now, there's there's no such thing as too many.
And Isaiah 117, like they have to back off after 3 days. So we're right there in proximity in the offices all the time. And we will deal with the kids who are, I mean, it is a space that is always there for the kids that are getting suspended or disrupting placements. And Isaiah 117 can't always take those kids. So I'm excited to see what the Lord does with us being here and them being here, and see how we can all work together to serve these kids. So
your one yes has evolved into such a unique and amazing blessing for so many. And I absolutely love it. And we really appreciate you coming on, Jenni, and sharing about LilyPad with us. And we're going to wrap up right now, but I just want all of our listeners to hear that this is what dreaming small is. It's looking at how you can take something and change it for the better. And it doesn't have to be a big yes. But in Jenni's story, this one yes definitely evolved into a massive undertaking for the good, right? So it's just been incredible to hear your story. So thank you so much, Jenni. We really appreciate you being on. And until next time, you guys, keep dreaming small.
Thank you for listening to the Dream Small podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please tap that follow button and leave us a review. It helps other people find my mom and dad's show. If you're on Spotify, please give my parents a follow and a 5-star rating. And wherever you listen, don't forget to share the show with a friend who needs a little encouragement today. You can also follow us on social media to stay in the loop. Instagram at Dream Small Podcast, Facebook Dream Small Podcast, Twitter or X at Dream Small Show, or email us anytime at dreamsmallpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you, and remember, just dream small. See you next time.